All right, guys, it's Monday at 2 o'clock. I've only really got $20 to spend and probably 20 minutes to spend it. Let's see how well we can do with those parameters at Goodwill. So the time is 2:08 and I need to be back in the car at 2:28 to go get the kids. Let's see if we can spend 20 minutes and $20 and make some money. Ooh, look at this. Some series of some sort. James Patterson for kids. Well, would you look at that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one looks old. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Stephen King's. And how about these? These just have that look that they're probably Christian romance. Farmer's Bride, Oregon Trail. But it's only $2. So we're getting a pretty good haul to start with. So so this figure is not worth anything. It is a Burger King figure, but it's from the Pixar movie Luca, which did not do super well. And so the figures are worth quite a bit if you can find them. And I'll put up some comps on the good ones. The Burger King giveaway of a tertiary character is not as good as even the Burger Kings of the main characters. I haven't bought Janet Ivanovich in a while, but look, here's 14, 15, 11, and 10. And then down here, there's 11 and 9. And there's probably more in here too if I kept looking for them. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. But Breaking Dawn's not soft cover, so it's 9, 10, 11, 12, and not 13, 14, and 15. I've tried to buy Clive Cussler before, and I wasn't able to sell those in lots. And if a person could make money off Danielle Steele in lots, there would be a treasure trove here, but I have not had any luck with that. If I found 13, I might buy those Janet Ivanoviches. I do well with them, but I'm not going to buy. I'm going to buy a small run. Not something with a skip in it because they're hard enough to sell. Is that more? Oh, that's Stephen Fry, not Stephen King. So we got 15 paperback books. This series that I don't know anything about, I didn't comp, but I promise you it's worth picking up. And then all of these Stephen Kings. I always pick up Stephen King when I find it in lots. And then Frank Peretti is like Left Behind, before Left Behind, very like spiritual realm Christianity fiction. So including my soda, I was more like a half an hour, and I didn't find a ton, but I will make some money, and I spent less than $20, and I'll be out of here in time to go get the kids. So I was successful. So these bookends came from the buyout of somebody else's store. They do have a name brand on them. They weren't worth very much, but I did list them. $21 plus shipping. I picked up these two Alfred Hitchcock along with a big lot of other mystery vintage books. Vintage books like this will often have colors on the edge of the papers, so that puts them at like 60s or 70s, and so they're more collectible, especially somebody like Alfred Hitchcock or Agatha Christie. There was like 10 books on this table, and the guy running the yard sale was like, just give me $1 for the whole pile. So I'm like 10 cents a piece into these. They sold for $11 plus shipping. So we picked up this Notre Dame jersey that's supposed to be in here on a day where I picked up a bunch of really good clothes at the Goodwill that I call the not good Goodwill. And this is a jersey from our local high school that is called the Fighting Irish Notre Dame Catholic High School. And so I included that in the listing, that this is probably from the high school, but wouldn't it be cool to wear on campus anyway? And it sold for like I want to say it was $5, and it sold for $16 plus shipping in about 2 weeks, I think. This is Disney Cruise Line Alaska, and it's like a woman's, it's a really long, like parka looking hoodie. It's an unusual piece. I thought it would do well, and Disney park stuff does well, but Disney cruise stuff doesn't always do well, and I don't know why. But that only, I paid like $5 or $6 for that, and it sold for $20 free shipping. Probably wouldn't pick that up again. More Harry Tornado Batman buttons, $8 plus shipping. If you're not old enough to remember, you probably hardly believe that I say, when I say, And One used to be a good brand. It was started by a company of guys that did really, really well for a long time. And there's a documentary about it, but they spent 5, 6, 8 years being on par with Nike and stuff. And then it kind of fell apart. And then the name brand got bought out by somebody who sells the stuff at Walmart now. And so looking at it now, it's junk, but it used to be really good. And this is an older piece. And I loved And One when I was in high school. So I bought it hoping it would do well, and it just doesn't. Sold for $12 free shipping. So I picked these up the other day at Goodwill for $2.99 a piece. So I'm into them for $3, $6, $9. They did all work. I decided to sell them as a lot because they seem to sell a lot slower. Individually, they sold for $24 plus shipping. So the buyer's all in at right at 40. So it's not tremendous margin, but I bought them and sold them in a week, and I'll make some good money. This hat, I paid $5 for this hat, and I felt like that was probably too much, but the guy went and got a couple of hats out of the back for me because he knows that I like to buy good hats. And so I paid $5 because $5 is a reasonable price for a vintage, not a snapback splash, but then NASCAR doesn't do as super well as it used to even 5 years ago. Sold for $15 free shipping. So I'm really not going to make much of anything on it. I mean, I'll double my $5, and it was easy to mess with. Amongst the R.L. Steins that I picked up the other day, these Fear Street Sagas, 1, 2, and 3. Fear Street Saga. Some of these can be really high-end. These were not as rare as some, 1, 2, and 3, but they did sell for $20 free shipping. Scream, the original Scream on Laserdisc, sold for $29. The right Laserdiscs can be worth some pretty good money, but for the most part, I'm not going to mess with them too much. In that same deal, I got this here Rocky, which is just not in great shape, but all of the tapes are sealed in the sealed box set, and the box set is crushed. But I paid $180 for everything, and those sold for $15 plus shipping. This was the big, and that same deal. PlayStation 2, complete in the box with an extra controller and a couple of games, sold for $153 free shipping. That's not giving it away, but that is a pretty good deal. I had it listed for $180 just to cover my costs on the whole thing, but I've made money for sure pretty quickly. When these massagers have a red head on them, they'll say P100HA, which means they have a heat mode, and they take a long time to heat up, but this one does work. I paid $8 for it this week, and it sold for $21 plus shipping. Buyers all in at $32. At the Retro Truckload sale, we paid $400 for literally the bed of my truck was completely full of all kinds of vintage and retro stuff and video games and toys. And these were 2 trees and a weapon for a Swamp Thing action figure. Sold for $7 plus shipping. Took over a year, maybe a year and a quarter to sell. I bought a small tote, like a 2-gallon tote with a bunch of action figures in it, and these were part of that. I paid $30 and I made the money back really quick, and I sold the bulk of them for like $100, and then there was pieces and parts that were worth selling, biker mice from Mars and a couple of GI Joes and stuff. But and Marvel Toy Biz, which are hardly ever worth selling individually. Anyway, this is Ultimate Warrior, the $1 Million Man, and tell me in the comments, that looks like MacGyver, but I don't know who he is. But I did look him up enough to know that that belt goes with him. So anyway, these sold for $24 free shipping, but we're in the profits on that by a long time ago. So I was at a yard sale at Spoon River Drive, which would make it just the very first weekend of October. And I saw this and I geeked out. I thought it would be worth a fortune. Dollywood vintage sweatshirt AOP, and it was like 75 cents or $1. And I'm like, that is just so cool. And I had it listed kind of high, and I had some offers and I had some sales, and it just never sold. So I got an offer for $15 plus shipping, and I sold it. Kurt Adler is a name that you hear sometimes on Bolo stuff. Kurt Adler. These were not it. These I bought for $1 each at an estate sale over a year ago. They're vintage, they're tested, and they sold for $11 free plus shipping. So I wouldn't call that a bolo, but if you see Kurt Adler, maybe comp it. All right, guys, I am picking up a thing. Pretty excited about it. If it is what I think it is, it could be a whole lot of money. Let's go take a look. You might think I'm crazy. I paid $70 for this. It is a paper mache mask, and his nose is kind of blown up and his hat is really crushed. But I don't think that pictures do it justice. I don't think you can get, like, it has a presence, man. It is just one of the coolest things I've owned in a long time. And I mean, it's massive. I'm an adult. It's probably 18 inches tall. I'm not going to try to wear it. And the inside is paper mache. Holy cow. I love my job. I think I'm gonna list it as is on an auction for $200 or $300 and see if I can't run it way up from there. It's super rare. So I snuck into this little thrift store that is not someplace I almost ever am. And would you look at this chest challenger? I think, unless they have this marked way up, that's probably going to be a good buy. And then these at $4 vintage chess pieces, probably even incomplete. These are Arnie. A couple of them are marked, yeah, Arnie. And so those are probably a get. Let me see what the price is. And I don't know about this battleship. It's in nice shape. So I did find some boots for $4 and Levi shoes for his dress-up thing there. And so I'll put some B-roll here of the boots that we got. And they're Christ Home, size 9.5. Should be $35, $45, but they're not going to sell super fast. And we're driving past the old Goodwill in East Peoria, so we'll see if we can make some money here. So I found some extension cords. They're $3 a piece. I'm not trying to resell those. And then this is $2.49, but the gray tag normally means that it is new, like from a store. But I only see one, but they should sell for like $15, $16 plus shipping. I don't understand how one to another, these Goodwills, like this store never has any choice. I mean, it's not like they're pricing them so low they're flying out the door. They just don't have them set out like almost ever. 2018. So how come this store has almost nothing and other stores have fallen off the shelves? They've got so many. Kids books are 50 cents a piece, and I don't know if these are worth anything to anybody else. They probably are, but these are a bunch of Fraggle books, so that's cool.